Lijiang Tower, Angry Titans, you know, talking with players and staff over the course of the day. They mentioned yesterday was a weekday for them, but today, they say it will be better. It's Angry Titans versus Atlanta Academy, the final hope for EU. See how it goes.
Both teams running out on the 3-3 here again, the mirror between both squads. It's going to be very important to watch these Zarya bubbles, watch the armor pack.
For now, both teams trying back and forth. Spectral getting awfully low, getting chunked by Birds to the backhand side. Atlanta looking more aggressive here, but here comes the dive on the Gator. Gator's down! A nice dive coming from Angry Titans, and they're going to strike first here on Lijiang Tower.
Look at Spectral going to take out Bird there, push him there with no shield to protect. And you watched in that first engagement where the bubble went out, they forced it onto Gator, then Fat goes forward, uses the amp, and boops Gator into the rest of his team. Angry Titans taking the first win, taking the first fight.
Much more decisive Angry Titans here thus far than what we saw yesterday, but that is just the first fight. Atlanta, of course, no stranger to making big comebacks, especially here in Control.
Atlanta going to be rotating here from the flank. Angry Titans wanting to meet him on the choke, deny them any space.
The fight already underway, Sugar Free, and Real Danger has not popped the rally. Pops the lane, the fight was really low. He'll go up, doesn't matter, the grab does too much. Angry Titans gonna easily finish off Atlanta in the white room.
That is a great engagement for the Titans, making sure to keep them on that choke, use the rally to keep them bottled, and then Spectral sets up the grab above the high ground to split the heals, or above the door, I should say, to split the heals if necessary, which it did.
Good control from Angry Titans here so far. 2 team fights in their favor, 41% to 0.
Very good hold so far for the Angry Titans. Atlanta going to re-approach from the white room here. Again, they know there's no grab to work with. Saucy close to his own. Going to look to engage, move forward, and set it up.
Shatter going to be thrown out here by Lelshish. Does not connect with anything. Atlanta now with an opportunity. Gator can be a little bit more free with the shielding. Moving forward, getting awfully low. Gator, are you going to live the beat? Connects just in the nick of time. Lets Gator drop the Shatter. Shatter, though, not doing much of anything. Pat out of the fight. Still 1 up for Atlanta Academy as they put the screws to Angry Titans right now. Angry Titans falling 1 by 1, and they might have to give this one up.
But also Spectral's going to commit the grab. Emil, he does have that bomb. He is going to be out of mech. Not going to catch anything there. Spectral, though, getting Sugar Free. The beat committed for Fat. This is still winnable.
He's trying to beat people out. Spectral's trying to turn the fight. It was risky to use the Graviton there, but it might be working out. However, Atlanta starting to fight it back in turn, but this is still good for Angry Titans. They're buying a lot of time, even if they do end up losing this fight.
And the trans committed for A-Box here, so this fight, it's very winnable. The grab used for Saucy. They realize this is last fight. If they lose this fight, there's no way they can recontest. There's no way they can win.
Atlanta's all in. Bird swapping the Doomfist. That's how you know it's getting real grim over on the Atlanta side. Urki whip shots Sugar Free away. And it's going to be Angry Titans with a dominant 99-0 here. And now on Lijiang.
Much better showing so far for the Angry Titans here against Atlanta. The grab coming out, making sure to finish out Saucy. And Angry Titans' point presence based off that good first, because we talk about it all the time, Control, winning first fight is so crucial. And we saw the bubbles, we saw the good set for Fat, setting up for that first fight. And from there, they just had a much better engage, much stronger, more decisive engages on those chokes with those grabs.
And they're going to the playbook against Atlanta Academy. And that playbook has consistently been, you go to Gator first. However, British Hurricane did the same thing. They also had a good start against Atlanta. And what did Atlanta do? They started pulling Gator back more. Gator learned how to retreat. He might have to go back to that lesson learned against British Hurricane earlier today if he hopes for this to go well.
So it is going to be the first round going the way of Angry Titans, and that's the squad that we expected. When we see that play right there, that's the squad that we expected so far when we've heard about them, when we've seen their accomplishments, winning EU contenders, obviously. Atlanta looking to equalize now here on Lijiang.
Angry Titans on the setup, certainly looking much better so far than they did yesterday. Even coming out of the gates, gets some applause here at the Take House. We'll see if Atlanta can swap things around.
So Angry Titans Atlanta just doing the stare down that most teams do here on the 3-3. Watching those cooldowns, you see the armor pack already used. Now it's a war of whose bubbles used first, how do they get the better damage?
Also a war of whose shields are going to sustain longer. Hawk getting to a rough spot, having to head on out early. A-Fox looking for pickups here in the back, and look at that email! Gonna get demeched! Too much poke coming in from Atlanta, and now it's a real power play opportunity. Atlanta gonna charge in. They know the D.Va isn't there. There's a window. They move on in. Gator's gonna fall, so is Lelshish. Still looking real good for Atlanta.
Much better there for Atlanta. The early DMEC onto a mill means you can't eat the damage from Zen, can't eat all the spam damage, you have a lot less shield pressure overall. So Atlanta, even though they lost Gator due to the charge, they're able to win the overall spam war.
Again, I heard about 5 people clapping in the audience. It was definitely the parents.
So now Atlanta holding the choke. holding first point, holding the point really, really close here. They want to use their grab. Saucy is a little bit ahead. He's been building a lot in that pass fight. They have the rally as well if they want to engage. Probably going to trade with Urki.
Atlanta, a decent spot right now. Gator holding on to the shatter. Bubble used super early. Gator drops a hammer. Knocks down 2 right away. Going to be forcing out the Transcend from Mayfox. The one person not grabbed. And meanwhile, Lol shifts the shatter on the other side. Knocks down 3. Atlanta, though, also countered by Bird. Transcend dealing with the Earth Shadows, but here comes the Graviton. Angry Titans moving on in. Self-destruct from Atlanta. Again, buying a bit of space. Beat invested. Angry Titans using just about everything they have and more. Bird and Gator pretty low. The charge in now from Spectral. Charge up and Lolshish is down. And it's Angry Titans working at a bit of a disadvantage.
Angry Titans now playing around the point. They're trying to play around their barrier. They know if they play around Gator, slowly they should be able to survive. The bomb is out. No shield for Gator, but still, Fat with the boop on Bird. That's huge.
Not only is it huge, but on the other side, we still have Saucy. Both Zarya's are charged up. Spectral on one end, Saucy on the other. Atlanta getting a little bit more. Gator drops a shatter. Doesn't hit anything, and yet Angry Titans forced out.
Atlanta played that extremely well. They used their grab to deny the cleanup from that early shadow. They moved towards point even after they lost those players. They played Gator's shield. They played slow, and even with the picks, there's nothing Angry Titans could do to move in.
Angry Titans having a much tougher time here on the night market. Atlanta holding back. Both Zaryas. Dueling Gravitons on the way. The first grab gonna strike. Saucy lays it in. So Spectral. Both teams getting up close and personal. Transcendences being traded. Back and forth the battle goes. No clear bench up, there's the shatter. Moving on in, Gator on the ground, so it's Sugar Free. And it's Lolshish doing that there, but 2 down for Atlanta. This is looking a bit better for Angry Titans, even as Atlanta continues to try to delay.
Angry Titans gonna back out, wait for the beat to go away, then move back in. They know they have that great damage. They have some of that point control, but Atlanta, they're playing this very tight. They're making sure not to peek too much.
Well, I think also they're trying to drain every last bit out of Angry Titans here. Fats and Saucy for a ride, and Angry Titans will not be perfected here just yet. They're gonna take control, but they have a long way to go. They want to bring this back.
So Angry Titans now getting the flip. We'll have the grab, we'll have that combo for shooting the double portal. They have a lot in their ult bank here. The key now is it's the eco game. We've seen so many teams so far in this tournament be able to go from the 0 to 99, get that 99 up, win the round, but they need to be very, very good in their ult economy.
Well, part of that here means that Spectral must get a high value grab. You can't throw this one into the waiting ball of Hawk.
Atlanta Academy going to be dropping on her off the high ground. Saucy with the grab available. Bird almost having that transcendence. For them, it's going to be who gets the grab off first. It's going to be Spectral.
The ground talk connects, and Bird did not have transcendence in time. And yet Gator drops the hammer, knocks down 2. Barrier going to be thrown out, but that's actually quite good for Atlanta.
This is very good for Atlanta. They got Fat to use beat. Volsish used that, also that shatter as well. The grab earlier from Spectral. They just could not get the cleanup because of Gator's shatter, denying a lot of that initial value. So Angry Titans had to invest so much, and look at Atlanta's ult bank.
That was a great shot from Gator because even though it doesn't win them the fight, it still makes Angry Titans use the beat. So Atlanta, this is their fight. They're moving in, they're charged up the Graviton. Invested early. AFOX must transcend the deal. Then the bomb reel is trumped by Hawk. Hawk blows up 3, and Atlanta well on their way to taking the round.
Atlanta just cleaned it up now. They're going to be moving towards the point, getting the flip. It's going to be very unlikely that Angry Titans can even touch, and if they do, they're walking into a full firing squad of Atlanta Academy. They have double support ult. It's going to be extremely tough. I don't think they can touch it all. Nope, they are going to be able to.
They're going to be getting a little bit of delay, but now they are hoping for the miracle, one that is unlikely to happen, given everything Atlanta has in reserve. Gator doesn't care, drops the shadow because why not?
Why not?
Doomfist makes his rare appearance.
Trance is going to be out, going to be potentially forced. Sugar Free actually getting antied, but right now, Angry Titans, they're streaming in. They have no ults. They're staggered. This is just cleanup for Atlanta Academy.
And that's going to bring us to a round 3. Remember, it's Angry Titans fighting for the pride of all of EU. They are the last remaining EU team in the tournament, and they do not want to tread the road that British Hurricane was just on.
And potentially fighting for the spot to re-earn that gauntlet spot that was lost earlier. They really want to move forward here in this tournament. They want to show what they can do. So 1-1 tied up here on Lijiang. We see now Hawk's bomb coming out from that grab. Very, very well set up because you see the charge come out for Gator, move those players away from the barrier, get caught by the 3K.
It was also a nice positioning in the air to begin with. It wasn't a ground bomb in the least. Had more coverage to be sure. But now we're all going to end this map here on the control center. And what better place for a new team than up close and personal in a 3-3 setup?
And we have seen a lot of Mei on this map before, but none so far for this stage. They're just going to be 3-3 versus 3-3 for both squads. Atlanta actually choosing to roll up on top because they expected a Mei, and rolling up on top is one of the easiest ways to deny the value for walls.
Oh, Erky just got slam dunked. Atlanta dropped right down on him. It's 6-on-5 for Atlanta, and this is a very clean opening for them here.
Lulz are so low, the shield presence discorded as well, making sure to keep it on, the bubble out to cleanse it, but it's over. Lulz is dead, even with Hawk getting DMEC. That was an immediate pickoff onto Erky, and without that Brigida, it's so easy to pressure the front line.
I mean, that was unconventional because, as you say, I think Atlanta was very worried about the Mei, but it works out. You can just drop down the Brigida and remove her from the game.
Hawk gonna go off the map there just to reset, get that mech back. Atlanta getting the first fight win, the first flip for themselves. Going to be overall quite a bit ahead of Rally. Most importantly, Sugar Free stayed alive, did a lot of damage that fight, so they can just look to take a Rally early.
So low, almost picked off by AFOX and a Fire Strike. Forces out the Rally early. AFOX, meanwhile, early transcendent stuff. Bird, though, hot on his heels. Gator moving forward, Shatter built, shield super low. This will be the time to let it fly. Moves forward and gets charged. Does not get the Shatter out the way. One, and Gator's down. Lulz with the deny. And Atlanta, they might want to let this one go.
Atlanta, I think they're still going to want to stall, but they should not commit any more ults. Their positioning is not very strong. They're going to be forced here into this corner. They're going to be picked off slowly. Time Bank's still ticking down, but the fight is definitely done.
You hear the crowd chanting it. They want AT to take this, and certainly AT is going to be retaking the point here and now.
So that's going to be a flip for Angry Titans. All the crowd very happy for that. Keeping themselves in the game. Atlanta, though, did not invest very many ults in that. It was just Gator losing that Shatter. Sugar Free invested the Rally, but it's already 70% to another.
Angry Titans are looking rather rich on ultimates themselves. Now Atlanta moving back into point. Spectral set up here in the Graviton. It's been a while since Devo's fed. That might not be the case. Oh, and there it is! Hawk eating Spectral's grab right then and now. And Atlanta still the opportunity. Lulz drops the hammer. Is that going to be enough? Atlanta, they used the beat just in the nick of time. Atlanta's still in this fight. Hawk soon the build-up bomb. The rally still in progress. Atlanta threatening on the point. Angry Titans looking to recover. And look at that! Gator down. Emo able to get the pick off with some extra isolation. And AT will hold.
AT will hold, and the huge portion for that is Spectral stayed alive that entire time. Spectral never went down, and without Saucy, because of Saucy's death to Emil's bomb, that's so much damage, so much utility gone. So Spectral staying alive was the most important factor, even with a great beat from Astro. The Zarya is so critical.
And Spectral says, I might have fed the last Graviton away, but it's fine. I got another one, and here it is. Served to you piping hot. Gator immediately eliminated. Excellent engage by Angry Titans.
Very good engage using that grab they had. And it's really something we've seen consistently from these Zaryas here on the EU teams is, do they throw away grabs at times? Yes, but do they build them very, very quickly? They do that as well. And Spectral making sure that he knows that he has the advantage, just drops the grab in that fight.
We call it the special from Denmark, courtesy of DeFran.
Courtesy of DeFran. Angry Titans back up towards the point now, knowing they don't have grab. It's going to be Shadow from Lulz.
And knocks down Gator immediately, forces Bird to use the Transcendence and the Self-Destruct to cover. Atlanta burning so many ults in response to a Shadow that knocked down only one.
They drop the Shadow. Lulz is going to get stunned there, but AVOX has the Transcendence. There's no ults available for Atlanta. They have nothing to finish this point, especially with Erky coming up on the Rally. There can be a strong engage for Titans.
This is the final fight. Atlanta, if they fall here, it's going to be Angry Titans taking that one. Now goes Sugar Free, 6-on-5. Titans moving in. Titans looking strong. The Graviton in from Spectral. And this is going to be holding Atlanta off the point. And AT says, you might have swept British Hurricane, but you're not going to sweep us. Angry Titans taking map one.
Emil eating Saucy's grab just to add insult to injury. And that is map one for Angry Titans. Looking renewed, looking much better today.
And they are not all talk. They told us behind the scenes yesterday, it was an off day. They would be coming back stronger. And Atlanta had to bear the full brunt of the AT wrath here.
Angry Titans, I think when we look at this squad, we see a lot of potential for them. They've obviously done very well for themselves in EU Contenders. They had that relatively devastating first result here in the tournament, but it's most important for them is that they kept their heads up. They made sure to persevere through. They're keeping it strong, and they looked incredibly coordinated there versus Atlanta. They were making sure to put the pressure on Gator. They were getting tons of value from Spectral in particular on Zarya. Even if he was losing some grabs, he was building two more for its place. Angry Titans, extremely strong there.
That said, it was still very close. It went to round 3. Both teams looked good on Control Center. You know, sometimes might say this is a battle. I say it's a war.
It is a war of sorts, a war of egos. It's a war of pride here between EU and NA. So there's a lot on the line for both these teams. I think they both obviously want to win. That's, a no-brainer. But it's more than just about winning for yourselves. It's winning for your whole region. It's winning for that gauntlet.
So it's been a bit heated in here. We're going to cool off looking at the water balloon fight that took place a little bit earlier in the week. The Titans are EU's last hope, but for now, they're burning bright, striking first against Atlanta, 1-0 after our control map.
And listen to it. The crowd's happy for that, and I'm happy for that. We talked about we want to see a good matchup. Sure, would it be very, sweet, sweet to the eyes to see EU get rolled? But it wouldn't be fun to actually cast or to listen to or to watch. You want to see a great match, and Angry Titans so far looking to deliver.
Yeah, and Angry Titans, look, they're a team we knew would be stronger than what we saw yesterday. They are the champion of EU, and it's for good reason. Every team can have a bad day, and it seems like yesterday might have been that for Angry Titans, but for now, they look renewed and reinvigorated. But now they go to Atlanta territory. It is Atlanta's map pick, and we'll see exactly where we're going to go. Remember, Atlanta does like Blizzard World, and that's what it's going to be.
And look at that. Serendipitous, though not actually. You just, used your brain there. The big ZP. The ZP brain.
Yeah,
the ZPU.
I thought back. What did Atlanta pick last time? Oh, right, Blizzard World. Probably going to go there again.
Safe call there. So we are going to move into Blizzard World as our second map of the series. We've seen a lot of Ana used on this, even some triple DPS pushes, even the Ashe as well. Emil on that Ashe. And I think Emil for Angry Titans has been a pivotal point for them, not only for his diva play, making sure to use bombs that a little bit less conventionally. You see for ATL that they've often been using Hawk in the combo, while Emil, much more Bernard style, throw it out to zone, to engage, also even that flex onto the Ashe, which we've seen on Blizzard World. So I expect we might see more of the same.
Well, and also, given that Angry Titans does prefer running Ashe quite a bit, Blizzard World is a very good Ashe map, so even though Atlanta is picking this to suit their strengths, they've also given Angry Titans a map that they're also pretty comfortable on. So this could be a risk for Atlanta where they're prioritizing themselves over the opposition. But, of course, should they be wrong, then they would be looking at needing to reverse sweep to bring this all back. And that is a dark and mysterious tomb here on Blizzard World.
It is. It is a very, very dark and mysterious tome there. That's the tome that contains the secret knowledge of who's actually better. Is it EU or an A?
Oh, man, we can't read that.
Can't read that one.
If you read that, your eyes just burn out of
your
skull.
Yeah, your eyes will burn. So looking at the arc, you know, it's just like chain lightning jumps between you. You just dissolve. It's too great a knowledge for one person to wield.
However, I did read it at one point, and you know what the end of the book said? And it said, Korea is actually the best.
Yeah.
But then the footnote was written by Monte Cristo. So
written by Monte Cristo.
That's what we ended up seeing.
Oh, and also edited by Wolf Schroeder.
Yes, it was edited by Wolf.
Edited by Wolf Schroeder.
We're getting into it. Atlanta versus Angry Titans, map 2. See if Atlanta can bounce back.
So Angry Titans going to be here on this offense, running the 3-3. Atlanta running much the same, but Bird on the Ana. A staple pick we've seen on these hybrid maps for the first defense is running the Ana.
Angry Titans, I don't think they're going to wait too long. They saw the playbook that Fusion University did against Atlanta yesterday. You go in decisively, you take that Gator, but already Atlanta changing pace, going in on AT early, but Gator's down! Gator is still first to fall. They turn the aggression on its head, and it's going to be Angry Titans with a very quick point A take.
AFOX getting that cleanup on Gator as Emil goes, hunt down Bird. And that was a great engagement for Angry Titans. They move forward, they make sure to isolate Gator, try to get the superior focus fire, and that's their goal because you have to be fast versus that Ana composition. The longer you wait, the more likely Bird was going to get that nano boost, which is the goal for that composition on first defense. Smart moves from Angry Titans, flipping the first.
Atlanta not starting this off well if they want to even up the series. Meanwhile, Angry Titans looking every bit the EU champion we know them to be.
And also something to note is that because Bird made that swap over onto the Zenyatta, AFOX, huge transcendence advantage. Could likely, if they choose to, just move forward, pop an early aggressive trance, also have Spectral with that grab way before Bird's transcendence. So 2 options available to win this next fight.
Graviton going to be used here early, and Lelshish charging the payload. But you know what? It does not matter. Atlanta had nothing in the bank to deal with that.
Just using that superior ult economy there from that fight win. Only using 1 ult, which is so important to move forward as we go into second for Angry Titans. Using 1 ult and 1 ult only, holding onto the trance and continuing to move forward. Now their goals are going to look to lock them down, lock Atlanta from controlling this high ground, and continue to build another grab if possible.
And the problem is Atlanta just dug themselves into a hole with the very poor point A defense. They're still paying the toll for that right now.
Atlanta looking like they want to try to move here on the high ground, but you look at the positioning with that, with Lolsis, and also with Urki trying to deny all high ground.
Atlanta, they shrug off the Earth Shatter. They're moving in off the rally. This is where they can reverse momentum after that. They're going to mess the Graviton on high ground. Not even making sense there. And here goes Zarya off and ride. Gator on the charge. But meanwhile, the bomb from Hawk takes down 2. A worthy sacrifice, even as Spectral took him on down.
Great bomb from Hawk. Set up from Gator with that Shatter, getting 2 on the ground, guaranteeing the cleanup. Took them some time, but they took control of the high ground there, despite a good setup from the Angry Titans. They're trying to catch Spectral. They will deny Spectral the energy, which is very important.
Spectral out of the fight. In Atlanta, they do make a stand here at point B, but Angry Titans should feel good about where... the stagger. AFOX was stuck behind enemy lines.
They had AFOX actually getting staggered by Hawk. He was just DMing him, sitting in his face. He almost gets demeched, but they turn around in time to help him. So that's a good stagger.
That's a good stagger, but still a really good time from Angry Titans.
It is. They still have plenty of time left on the bank here.
Yeah, I mean, for Angry Titans, they can feel confident about where they are at right now, and certainly something where they can still set a very quick time.
And Atlanta should know that Spectral will be coming up on that grab, and actually does have the grab, so don't want to use any support ults too early. They want to save that there for the grab to deny the cleanup, to give them the sustain. As Titans are rotating here through this right side flank, are going to come up onto the high ground and remove Atlanta, put them near the cart.
AT going to go for the high ground right now. Spectral just sizing up the terrain for a Graviton. Could also go for the sneaky grab on the bottom. but I don't think the Angry Titans need to resort to anything too crazy. Instead, they're going to grab on the payload, force out the Transcendence from Bird, as Urki finds Saucy on the other side. Enough burst damage went on through. And now man advantage to Angry Titans, 6 on 5. Shadow going to be dropped here by Lulshish, knocking 2 to the ground, forcing out the beat. Atlanta still fighting tooth and nail to bring this back. Saucy, 87%. Would love to build the grab mid-fight. Gator, though, is down. And Atlanta starting to run precious little on manpower as Angry Titans end up taking the fight.
That will be the flip. Great initial engage there for Titans. You had Emil on the cart, forcing Atlanta to rotate even if they didn't win that fight on the high ground. Taking second from the shatter, from the grab, removing those ults, continuing forward into last. And if you're Atlanta, it's not a blazingly fast time, but this has been a pretty fast offense. They need to find a good engagement here and stop the momentum.
I think if you're Atlanta, you need to burn at least 2 minutes off the clock here, or trying to bring this map back is going to be an exercise in pain.
Atlanta Academy looking to set up their grab, looking to set up the bomb, maybe even the shatter. Doubles the portal to the over Titans. So it's all about, can they remove an ult first? Can they engage first? It looks like they can't.
Graviton used first. Bird moving right in. Transcendence bomb to the back from Hawk. Does not connect. Both bombs being exchanged. Both teams still standing. But Lulshish gonna find the ground. Courtesy. Gator on the outside, but on the save note, Gator follows as well. Both sides trading out shatters, and it's Angry Titans on a much better tilt.
It was actually a perfectly synchronized shatter. Both Ryans dropping that 0 ping, that land shatter, dropping each other, and there was no follow-up available for Atlanta. They just got cleaned up in return from the remaining members of Angry Titans, and now they're continuing to move forward. The time bank hasn't really changed too much for them. It is still a very fast time. They're gonna have the rally to engage. They're gonna have to trade with Sugar Free and hope they are able to outbuild Spectral on the grab.
Angry Titans in a very good spot right now. Could set incredibly quick time here on Blizzard World. Spectral already getting close to yet another Graviton's been building them so incredibly fast. Sugar Free's down. Angry Titans looking for it now. 5 on 5 being invested by Atlanta. Atlanta desperately trying to bring this back. Their front line, though, has been decimated. Saucy's in real danger, but Saucy takes down one and still lives to tell the tale.
Bird going down with 99%. Avox, such an important pick for him. Saucy, though, just doing so much on the point right now.
Saucy finally blown up, but he did enough. Angry Titans repelled, but Atlanta is still dealing with an incredibly robust time bank from the Angry Titans.
Saucy has been huge on Zarya when those moments matter. It's not just the grab kills for him. It's not just the great grabs. He just gets frags when he's high energy. He's getting tanked. It's so hard for Titans to bring him down.
Saucy is someone where the longer the fight goes, the more likely it is to be 100 energy and just simply finishing the fight for Atlanta.
And now for Titans, because they invested so much in that fight, they invested not only the time, but also a lot of ults. They don't have much to break through the ult economy here for Atlanta Academy. They have a grab, they have a shatter, they have all they need.
Atlanta's in a very good spot here. I mean, Spectral builds grabs quickly, but Saucy has his grab now. Graviton right to the heart of the Angry Titans. Forcing up the shatter. The shatter from Lulshish actually knocks down 4 and makes this way more winnable for the Angry Titans. The Graviton Eden! Spectral's grab into the abyss. Hawk decides one good move deserves another. And even if the heroics of Lulshish is still... Oh, there comes the Angry Titans back the other way. Take down another 2. Email over Gator. And the Angry Titans fighting it back. The VAT bring this into the end.
And Angry Titans looking confident, looking happy right now. The crowd invigorated. And I think for Atlanta, it was a good setup for Angry Titans, a very good setup. It was a double-pronged attack because Emil, he went from behind, he hid. We've seen Angry Titans do this before, actually. Put a lot of focus onto the Zenyatas, onto the backline with Emil, and force that rotation, force them to be unaware of which side they're being attacked from, and set up the shatter for Lulshish.
And also, don't forget, going into that fight, that was not an easy fight for the Angry Titans. They were at a disadvantage.
A huge disadvantage.
Atlanta had a very big ultimate economy edge over them, and Angry Titans still played clean enough to take the fight. Now, there is one silver lining, and it's a small one for Atlanta, is that Angry Titans, they finished at 59 seconds remaining. If they had just been 2 seconds quicker, this is potentially a much different game.
So now Atlanta looking to have a much better offense themselves. Angry Titans going to be setting up their defense. So Atlanta was able to stall there a bit at the end as well. What was looking like an incredibly fast run through Blizzard World, especially first and second, they did stop it a bit. They halted it a little bit on the third, brought down the time. They did not give Titans the minute, or the Angry Titans the minute, not the Titans, the Angry Titans. That minute they needed, they wanted. So the question here is, how can Atlanta be cleaner, especially for third? Because that is where it broke down for the Angry Titans.
We're going to have a quick pause going on. Perhaps Atlanta is thinking over what they're going to be doing. But the interesting thing if they decide to go with it, of course, it is Atlanta on the attack. They can change up everything, but you know, it's been a while since we've seen Sugar Free on a DPS hero, let alone McCree.
It is very possible that we could see that triple DPS on that offense make the swap for second point. But I think for Atlanta, they're in an extremely good synergy right now themselves, running the 3-3. We saw it earlier versus the British Hurricane. I think that we're going to continue to see it here in this match. So it's unlikely they might want to make those swaps, but it would be nice to see the flexibility because it'll maybe put Angry Titans through a loop.
Well, Angry Titans have a lot to feel good about here because, you know, we didn't really touch on it, but just completing Blizzard World in and of itself can be a bit of an accomplishment. It is not the easiest map to bring forward to point C. It's a map that we often see point A holds on, point B holds on. So Atlanta already finding themselves in a bit of a bind.
Atlanta gonna have to make some plays as they move out here on the offense. No Ana for Angry Titans. We've seen a lot of Ana here on those hybrid maps for that first point. But none for Angry Titans gonna be Apex on the Xin, though I imagine with how he's been doing so far on this map and the map previously, he's having a great performance. Doesn't want to swap off.
Atlanta not gonna be putting Sugar Freaks in the Koreans. Oh, burns down! Just absolutely sniped by A-Fox. The slight assist from Fat on the outside corner. As Gator.
Gator actually takes Losus off the map.
Yeah.
Now, Losus will probably gonna be back. The walk back from spawn very long. And I talked about Apex on that Xin. Once again, it was the rotational damage. That probability monster, the right click, hits Bird as he's moving forward. Fat hits a couple donuts on him, and that's done.
One good thing about Gator doing that, gave them a lot of charge towards Earth Shatter.
It did. It gave them a lot of charge, so they will have that advantage moving into the next fight. Can they get in here now and have a much better offense?
Well, the crowd certainly hopes that Atlanta will be repelled. Gator moving forward. It's going to be a very quick Earth Shatter, so his suicidal play might actually work out in favor of Atlanta. The Shatter is ready. So is Gator. He lets it fly and knocks down 3.
They weren't expecting it at all. They weren't keeping track of the ult. They didn't expect that the charge off the map would give so much ult charge. Emil also out of mech. This fight is definitely done with Erky going down. Gator using that huge advantage. That was actually one of the best charge plays possible, getting him off and building that early shatter.
That was part of Gator's master plan there, where he was thinking just 4 steps ahead.
4 steps ahead, and Angry Titans just not able to, think about the fact that, well, Gator charges off the map. He's gonna have a huge ult advantage. They just didn't put it together. And that is Gator recognizing that advantage, seeing the shield was on in front of the team and just dropping the shatter.
So Atlanta, they get through point A, not quite as swiftly as the Angry Titans did, but certainly enough to keep this map very competitive.
Gator also already almost 80% to another. Now Angry Titans, though, have built up their ult. They look to take this fight. They need to mitigate Saucy's grab, have a much better grab of their own. They do have this portal they need.
Also holding on to the Earth Shatter. A little bit far behind Discord Orb. They're going to be playing with his life. The Gravitons exchanged by both teams here. Both Reinhardts holding on to the Shatter, and it's going to be the Shatter infrost from Gator. Knocks down Lulshish. Lulshish dropping a Shatter in turn. And both teams struggling, looking for the edge here, as Gator actually has to take a breather. He's too low.
Gator has to take a breather. Actually got bashed out of that Shatter. You see the engage here for the bomb. Not able to catch anything for Emil. And Saucy already catching 2. The beat so good for Astro, keeping everyone alive.
Even with the bomb pressure, the beat from Atlanta was better. And Atlanta, they go through the first test of point B.
They have moved through that choke. Still plenty of time left on the bank. Moving forward now. Gonna look to set up this engage. And Saucy, he stayed alive that entire fight. He never went down. Already almost 80% to another grab. They're going to invest it for sure in this fight, even though they know there'll be double support ult. They have combo, and afterwards they can look to engage with a support ult of their own.
And we've been seeing combos less than the norm because of how D.Va's been using self-destruct in between fights. But as you say, this is an ideal combo opportunity here. Saucy about to get the last little bit of it. Hawk already taking position. Good for the bomb. The Graviton is ready. Saucy setting it up. And the Graviton connects. Where's Hawk? Where's the bomb? Gator's already dead. And Atlanta, they end up just beefing on the engage. It's not what they want, and Hawk just saves the bomb. And no, he uses it later in the fight while Gator's gone.
Not able to catch anyone. Does get some zoning, but there's no one there to follow up. There's no anyone there to remove the barriers. Bird investing the trance here as well as Emil. He's out of mech, but they have to be careful.
Emil somehow getting caught. Walsh just says, here's a Shatter. Enjoy. But are they going to be able to follow up on it? Sugar Free might be down. And Atlanta, there's a real opportunity here.
Atlanta has opportunity, but without Sugar Free and the spawn advantage, Angry Titans are going to continue to hold on to this point. Good job from Hawk, the body block, but the fight was already done. Questionable use of the D.Va bomb there, considering there was no one, they weren't in position at all. It'd be one thing if they were in position to follow up, get a bash, remove the barrier, but they weren't.
And they go for the full reset. Hawk says, no, I'm not going to try and get the mech back, so Angry Titans will be back at full strength. The window is closed.
back to full strength, gonna have the grab, going to have that bomb very soon after. For Atlanta Academy, when they're looking at this next fight, they need to find value from Gator Shatter. Either if they remove as a portal or remove a single person from the fight, it has to be high value.
Graviton can be invested here by Spectral. Angry Titans taking the aggressive edge, but Loshish is down! Unable to be protected. Here comes Atlanta. They drop the beat. Fast break quite the other way. And they're going to take down Urki. And this is looking real good for Atlanta Academy as they catch the Titans off guard.
Extremely good, and they were also even able to force the transfer from AVOX, not able to save anyone. They're going to be controlling point, even with the spawns coming back from Titans. There's no way they can properly contest. They don't have the ults available for them. Atlanta are in firm control.
Now, think about this from the macro level. This is still really good for the Angry Titans. Atlanta has been much slower here so far. Even though it's possible that they could set a quicker time, it is unlikely the way the map has gone so far.
It's been slower, but I think they're in a very good position. Right now, they should know that there's no trance available, no grab either. Sugar Free has a free ability to just move forward with the rally, take the fight aggressively, and look to set up Gator again.
Saucy holding on to the Graviton. Angry Titans, this fight could be a little bit tough for them given the ultimate situation. Saucy, meanwhile, taking his time, does not want to donate the Graviton to Emil. On the other side, and Gator just steps up to neutral, drops the shatter, forces out the barrier. A nice play from Gator, and here comes Emil, drops the self-destruct, trying to make a little bit of room, doesn't connect, and meanwhile, Loshish is down. Atlanta's playing this really, really well.
Loshish is down off that bash shatter. They removed so many ults early. Emil actually getting the boop off onto Gator. There's no Gator in the fight, but with Emil out of mech, Saucy's free to run Supreme. They can also move Bird forward. This fight is definitely done.
Classic Saucy already has two. He's charged up to ready to go. He's chasing down the Titans one by one. Gonna melt down another. Saucy just ripping the Titans apart.
And that was all from that bash shatter setup earlier with Sugar Free with Gator. They removed the beat early, and they got the D-Mech onto Emil late. That is done.
And here's the aftermath. It's not just that one fight. Saucy's gonna have grab again.
Gonna have grab, but so will Spectral. They also have the Transcendence available. So the real question here is, can Hawk deny Spectral grab value? If they could deny the grab from Spectral, they're going to be much better.
Well, the deny is not going to be there. Loshish looking for the abduction on the other side. Doesn't quite get it. The Angry Titans getting low. The Transcendence on the nick of time. Fat already down. Land advantage here to Atlanta. The Graviton out from Saucy. This looking good for Atlanta. Down goes Spectral, 6-on-4. Atlanta now threatening. They could set a quicker time.
They can set a much quicker time. See the charge come out. Actually going to be able to get D-Mech onto Hawk. Loshish bringing him back in. But look at the shield presence. Look how charged Saucy is.
And they're moving on. There will be no mercy. There will be no corner. Atlanta bringing it on through. Melting down Emil one more time. And Saucy, he cannot be stopped.
He cannot be stopped. He's continuing to get these frags. This is cleanup for Atlanta. They're going to finish with over a minute left in time, too.
Atlanta evens the score. It wasn't their point A. It wasn't their point B. But once they got to point C, Atlanta felt their groove.
They did, and Sugar Free and Hawk, even though they've been quiet at times, we haven't seen them quite as much, they've been doing great on this map because they denied that combo, they denied the value of Spectral, even though he didn't get the eat, drops the defensive bomb, and then Sugar Free gets the bash onto Loshish, looking to remove people from the grab. So huge denial. We see these Brigidas getting much better at denying Reinhardt those charges. And that was so important for Atlanta to survive the fight.
It is one of the more predictable maneuvers where you have this gigantic character moving towards the grab and looking like he's going to take someone away, maybe interrupt it.
So now Atlanta did finish with over a minute left in the bank. So we'll have 6 more seconds. Very good for them. It is something to work with.
Let's be clear. It is not a significant advantage. It is all even. But this is incredibly important for both of these teams. For Angry Titans, a win here would in most cases secure the series because a reverse sweep, it happens in Overwatch, but it's rare. For Atlanta, a win here evens it up, makes it anyone's game, effectively turns it into a best of 3. It's going to be Angry Titans on the attack first, as they do have that slightly slower time.
And you see Atlanta are not rolling out with Bird on the Ana, because when we look at how little time is left on the bank, it is effectively equal. As you said, this is pretty much a one-fight territory, and you need the Zenyatta to have that better focus, to get that damage, and Bird has been doing extremely well in both the Zen and the Ana. So no one is playing for a longer game. They're playing to just make sure that they can get the best focus possible rather than the sustain.
And first fight here on Blizzard World has been the bane of Atlanta. Gator has been hitting the dirt regardless of who they've been up against. If Atlanta's going to have a good point A defense, now has to be the time as Gator strikes, finds Fat early, takes down 2. This is a reversal of fortune.
It is, and that's such a problem with Angry Titan's strategy. You see Emil was split there on the left side. They're hoping to do the pincer move as Emil moves to the backline to hunt Bird, but because Emil isn't there, he can't eat Fire Strike, and that is why Fat is dead.
So Atlanta, they get over the first hurdle, and this is a really tough map to get 2 quality attacks on. There's only 10 seconds left for the Angry Titans.
It's going to be tough.
Even touching the point might not happen.
Fat is going to be the one that's probably going to have to move forward, look to touch. He's going as fast as possible, but they're going to effectively stagger in here.
They're over the top, and Fat has given his life. Already a man advantage here to Atlanta. Look at the hold. Gator takes down Loshish, drops the hammer, and Atlanta, they will hold the Titans back.
Will hold the Titans, no ticks given, and it was a risky choice for the Titans. And maybe as the emote dropped there off the charge kill, and it was all because Titans continue to do this play where Emo flanks to look to get pressure on the backline while the rest of the team pushes, but because he wasn't there to eat Fire Strike, Fat was dead.
And Gator recognizing that, and again, reversal of fortune for Gator, who over the course of this weekend has just been annihilated on point A. It's the same story with Atlanta. Blizzard World first, Gator dying. Not that time. And now Atlanta in an excellent situation to even up the series. They need a mere 33% on point A.
33%, but it is very likely that they might not get that as well, because it's 1 minute, essentially. 1 minute, 6 seconds. Those 6 seconds very unlikely to make a huge difference. So you have to roll forward. It's very possible instead that they might play this triple DPS we see right now. They could be rolling up on that triple DPS, playing for this EMP.
Well, one good thing is that Angry Titans is going to be running with the Ashe on the defense, and Ashe, if nothing else, is good at punishing other DPS who are not the Widow. Ashe versus Widow is a real difficult matchup for the Ashe.
Much better for that Widow there. And also, in addition, Gator on the Hammond, it's sure you can still get away as Ashe. Ashe has a little bit more mobility than, let's say, McCree in terms of getting away from dive tanks, but Gator's a lot more effective as well chasing down that Ashe on Hammond than he would be on a Winston.
Also remember, the series is a 1st to 3. Worst case scenario here for Atlanta is that this map means nothing at all. Titans can no longer win. However, Atlanta certainly can.
So Sugar Free actually going to be going here onto the Pharaoh. It is going to be that triple DPS for Atlanta Academy. Their goal is to get 1 pick. Just 1 pick here, get the EMP, anything.
And the crowd, they're fired up. Chanting defense as the Angry Titans look to hold Atlanta back.
You see Sugar Free just trying to deny that high ground, keeping them boxed in. Already some early damage as Gator, his pressuring point. He's there with Hawk. They have so much point presence, and Urki's already down.
Sugar Free, the assassin from above. Already grabs 1, makes it 2, and the defense chance falling to a halt as Sugar Free silences the crowd, moves forward, and it's gonna be Atlanta. They even up the series, 1-1.
A quick tactical crouch. The crowd isn't too happy about that. We have some boos. It's a quick, just making sure he's okay. That's a tactical crouch, making sure that he's okay. And Atlanta played that expertly. And I think that for Angry Titans, they were playing a little bit too unsafe. Urki was alone on the point. They had Urki there to try to contest, and he just got overwhelmed while Sugar Free was over the top. Sugar Free wasn't getting denied at all by Emil's Ashe. And the problem is because legitimately, people think, oh, you play hit scanning versus Pharah.
Yeah.
But the problem is, Hitscan's actually not great at punishing that Pharaoh, but it has a Mercy with them, because they can just out-poke you.
Yeah, I mean, you essentially have to double tap the far at that point, which is easier said than done when the projectile DPS is as good as Sugar Free, where it's easy to forget because he's been in Brigida jail for so long, but he's one of the most dominant projectile DPS that North America has ever produced.
Yes, Sugar Free is an extreme talent, lots of room to grow. It is going to be equal now, 1-1, Atlanta Angry Titans. And I'm glad we got to see some flexibility there, because I bet Angry Titans were not expecting that. They were expecting the GOATs, they were expecting the 3-3, and Ashe was their pick for that, to just play slow and build Bob.
Well, guys, I have to say it's sure good that Atlanta has good teamwork in Overwatch, because let me tell you, their endeavors in other areas, not as good.